Yeah, hi, good evening everyone. In the previous session, we have covered like in ITIL framework, which involves major incident management. Apart from that, we covered like what is problem management, how we can configure the problem management record, and what are the things or what are the stages which are available in the problem tickets or problem records. Today, we'll see regarding what is change management, what are things which are involved in the change management. Okay. As we know that the incident management revolves regarding the incident table. The backend name of incident is incident table itself. And when we come to this problem management, the problem management or problem record backend table name is problem. When we come to this change, which has some quite difference, like change underscore request is a backend name of the change table. Okay. Keep in mind that incident table backend name is incident, problem is problem, and change table is change underscore request. If you want to do any change regarding any part of the parts, like without any involvement of change management, we can't do single changes in the organization. Okay, let's see how it will be and what is the change management. Let me copy this. In the change management, the name itself states that which involves the changes of the organization, and we have some different types of changes here to go through regarding the applications or in the process of the service management. Let's see what are the changes available there. For example, let me make it as an example first. If any employee or any user wants to change his laptop, or if it is already broken or if it is not performing well, then this also comes under the change management, because we are changing and the older asset to the new asset. Asset is nothing but the configuration item which is using by the user to perform the services regarding the organization. If any users wants to change his device or his CI, his laptop, majorly called as in the layman terms, then this type of changes are also be included in this change management. Okay, let's see. Majorly the change management defines like it involves the deployment process. Deployment process are handled in this change management. As we know, the incident tickets or the raising tickets involves in the incident management. The multiple tickets which are raised on same issue or the single issue called as the problem management, where all the deployment processes or deployment issues are handled in this change management. If any user wants to change in his laptop or his access card or anything not named, comes under the HRSD process. It's not comes under the ITSM process. If he wants to change his laptop device or access card or anything, like if he wants to change from project A to project B, anything will be involved in this change management. Okay, as we know that everything will be recorded in the backend in the application like software. We have the naming convention like the change number, everything. For this change we have separate change number, and for this change we have separate change number. Let's see how it will be, how this process will be done. Like it's called deployment, developers, and users. If users wants any change, it comes under the deployment. Deployment will be done by the developers in the change management team. Let's see what are the types of changes. The major important questions they ask in every interview, like 70% of interview without this question, no interview goes move on further. Like the types of changes, before going to learn what is change. Types of changes, we have three types of changes majorly, like standard change, and we have normal change, and the next one will be the emergency change. But in may some organ like out of 10, one or two organs may have the fourth change also. We'll come to that later. What will be the fourth change? But major these three are the typical common changes which are available in the service management, like in the ITIL framework. Let's see what is standard change and what are the example of standard change. The standard change is nothing but these are the changes. These are the changes which doesn't have any impact or low risk, nothing but it doesn't have any impact on the project or anything. Let me write the definition first. These are the changes which doesn't have any impact or called as low risk changes, and these are pre-approved changes. These are pre-approved changes. Okay, for example, in this type of change, in this standard change, these are called as pre-approved change. Make this point as clear, like these are called as pre-approved change, doesn't follows anything like this life cycle of change management. For example, if your keyboard right now, if you have any laptop with you, if something called some S R K, if these letters are not working in your laptop, is this will affect your work or it doesn't have any effect? In your laptop, if S alphabet and R alphabet and K alphabet is not working, then it will affect your work or it will delay your work.
Delay the work.
Delay.
We have online keyboard also, we can use that. Okay, we can use the external keyboard also if you have, or if they provide. Then it doesn't, these are the minimal changes we need in the organization. For example, if these keys are not working, then they may schedule any meeting for this change, like for the new keyboard or for the laptop. Do we need any meeting for the change of this keyboard?
Not required.
No.
Do we need any approvals from the manager or CEO for this replacement of this keyboard or these keys?
No.
These are nothing but the smaller changes which doesn't have any impact, or these are called as pre-approved changes. For example, if your keyboard is not working, then directly you can go to the asset management team or raise a ticket that my keyboard is not working. Then automatically any approvals from the above authorities or the top authorities, they'll change your keyboard without any the permissions from the third the CEOs or anything. These are called as the standard changes. Okay, then we'll come to this normal change. Normal change have the major part in the change management. These are the changes, or these are regular changes which will follow entire change management life cycle. Entire change management life cycle. Like the life cycle will be, I'll write in the next line. Like it goes for peer review first. Then it goes for manager approval. And then we have the cab approval. As we know that standard change doesn't follows anything, like these are the pre-approved changes, they doesn't impact into the working scenarios. When we come to this normal change, these will follow the entire change management life cycle, which includes the peer review first, manager approval, and cab approval. For example, if you have any internal movements in your organization right now, if you are working as a Java developer, every organization has the internal movements. Do you know that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. If you are working as a currently as Java developer, if you want to shift from Java developer to ServiceNow, like what is called a ServiceNow admin or anything, then you need to follow the entire cycle. First, the team peer is nothing but the team, the group team or the lead team or the consultant team will review first that he is a person who is eligible for the ServiceNow admin position or he is capable of doing all this administration works. Then after coming towards the peer review, it goes for the manager approval. After approving the manager, then it goes for the CAB approval. CAB is nothing but Change Advisory Board. CAB stands for Change Advisory Board. Without following this life cycle, this doesn't comes under the normal change. Okay, every normal change should follow this peer review, manager approval, and CAB approval. And after fulfilling all these things, then the change will be applied in the organization. Okay, clear? Or then I'll go for the next example. Like right now we are using like some Excel sheet for the data filling or for data storing. Some smaller data, not towards the bigger data. I'm talking about the smaller data. If we are filling some our time sheets or anything in the Excel sheet, if you are upgrading from Excel towards any like time sheet or workday timesheet application, then it is also changing from one application to the new upgrade application. This also includes this normal change life cycle. Okay, this also comes under the normal change. For example, if you want to relieve or if you want to change the project manager, if you want to change the project manager for a project or for let's suppose for a project, if you want to change the project manager, then this also comes under the normal change. Clear? Any doubts in the normal change? We'll see these things in our instance after the explanation. Okay, can I go for emergency change?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then the smaller part of emergency change comes here, like these are the changes or these are the changes which we need to or which need to fix the issue immediately. Okay, if you want to fix anything like in an emergency format or in an immediate format, those changes comes under this emergency change and it requires ECAB approval. As we know that CAB is Change Advisory Board, ECAB nothing but Emergency Change Advisory Board. Okay. For example, if you have the stand-up meeting regularly by 10 a.m. or every employee logins by 10 a.m. For suppose I'm just going for an example purpose. If you don't have access towards your application called ServiceNow instance, like if you don't have access towards your ServiceNow instance for all the employees, not for only you, or make it as teams. If you have 10 a.m. as a meeting like any scrum meeting or stand-up meeting, if teams application is not working, then what will be the next solution for this issue or the change you are looking up to? If you have 10 a.m. with the client, like we have the stand-up call or anything meeting with the client by 10 a.m. but the teams is not performing well, it is not going to conduct any meeting or it's not able to conduct any meeting, then what will be the next issue? Then we'll reach for another application, like we have Google Meet and we have some Google Suite where it enables the meeting applications there. Or we come to the next example, like if you are not able to access the server, we have some backup servers there in the backend. If you are not able to access the main server, or some group of people from a particular region people are not able to access the main server, then we have a backend server. Then regarding those changes will involve in this emergency change. Okay. Then we have some COVID-19 in 2019. Like everyone has to work from towards their home, not from the office. Then what are the things changed, or what are the things involved in that? It's called the emergency change. The entirely change from the work from the premises of the office towards your home, like towards your local IP address and everything. Got it? Any doubt here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We'll see like how to open the existing change records in our system or in our instance. Let's see how it will be. We'll go for a path first. Filter navigator, change. In the change, we directly make it as all. It will open all the list view of the existing changes. Or we can follow the next alternative, like filter navigator, change underscore request dot list or list. It will also open the same list view. Okay. Let's see how to see all those things. Open the instance. Anybody remember the life like the stages of any problem ticket? What are the states or what are the stages involved in the problem record? No one? Go to the filter navigator, type change. Under the change application menu, we have these modules: create new, open, closed, all, overview. Click on all. It will display the existing changes in the ServiceNow instance. You can see like this is a number, this is short description, and these are the types of changes: emergency change, standard change, normal change. Okay, and these are the states, and these are a plan date and plan end date. Let's see. Let me open any existing one. We can see like yeah, add network switch to the cabinet. Okay, you can see like these small things also involved in the change management. You can see like add network switch to the cabinet. Okay, this comes under the standard. As we discussed, like the smaller changes in the organization involves in the standard changes. Let me open this change. And as we know that the number is auto numbering format, where it can automatically generates the next padded number. You can select number, which is auto generated, like auto padded number, and who requested this change, and what are the categories. We know the category. If I select the category as hardware, and we have something called service offering and configuration item, we can select some different points here. Like first, which comes with priority, and we have risk, and we have impact. In the problem, we don't have any risk. In the incident, we don't have any risk, but we don't have any urgency also here. Urgency replaces this risk here. Okay, and we have the short description and the description. Okay, and we have the model. As we know that model is nothing but the standard, normal, and emergency. If you click on this part like the reference icon, it will display these three things: emergency, normal, standard. Okay, and the next comes part like the model is defined here in the type also, and we have states. You can select state new, scheduled, cancelled, and these are the major states of a change request record. As we know that how to create them also. I think I have gone through in the last session how to create them. And these are some conflict status, conflicts last run, and assignment group we know, assign to also we know. We can come to here like we have planning, what we have planned for this changes, and when we scheduled, and any conflicts like same changes applying on the same date and the same time, and any notes which are available for this record, and how we are closing this change request. We can mention here as close code and close notes. Okay, we'll try to create one thing like here it is showing as add network switch to the cabinet. This standard change template describes adding a new network switch to the data center cabinet, nothing but the plug. Okay, you can see like the planning also here. Physically rack switch in the top of the cabinet, ensure that redundant power supply is connected to the backup power circuit in the cabinet, and everything will be implemented here like the plan here. And what are the backup plan? Nothing but we, if you have doing anything like we should have the plan B. Without plan B we can't move forward. Physically remove switch and all associated cabineting, remove switch from the management monitoring and ServiceNow CMDB. And we have test plan, how we can test these parts. Let's see how to create a new change request in our instance. Okay, let me write the path before going to thing. Filter navigator, change, we have create new. And apart from that we have the next alternatives like change underscore request dot do or do or form or form. We can create a new change request from by this alternatives also. Okay, let's see. Click on filter navigator, go for create new. Here we are trying to create the standard change first. As we know that we are discussed like first standard change, then we come to the normal change, and then we have the emergency change. Then we have a new record of change request here. Let's see, it's not implemented. Okay, yeah. You can see like if you click on the new create new module here, we have this window. It is showing as pinned, and we have models, and we have pre-approved, and we have all. These also comes under the standard changes. Okay, we have models like emergency and normal. We can change later towards the standard. Okay, not an issue with that. And you can, if you want to pin them, you can pin them so it can be visible in the first tab like the pin tab. Go for normal, and you can change the state whether depending upon what you are creating. Like I'm just going towards the standard here. Or you can directly create from here. Click on filter navigator, create new, and these are the pre-approved changes here which are already there. Yeah, you can see like the standard is displayed here. Okay, you can select include a title for your change no greater than 100 characters. Okay, these are the basic changes which you want involved all these things. You can see like all these things are involved in the standard change also. New, access, authorize, schedule, implement, review, closed, and cancel. Okay, let's go for normal, and these are involved in the normal, like normal change, not in the standard change, but they are displaying in the top, but they not allow or they not follow the entire life cycle of change management. Let's see how it will be first. Click on filter navigator, click on create new, and try to create the first normal change. And here it is automatically populated, and requested by is taken by the current logged in user. And we have the category, and let's make it as add a printer to the desk 1. Okay, it's my change actually. Okay, and category comes under the hardware, and the priority is moderate, and risk is moderate, and impact is low. Okay, we need a printer towards desk 1, and description is older printer should be replaced by a new one. Okay, as we are going towards a normal change, as we know that normal change follows the entire change management life cycle. Okay, here we can see like it is model is normal and state is new. Don't affect this new states, as we have new access cancelled. Let me save this record before going to the next step. As we know that without filling this assignment group and assign to, the state of ticket will be only new. Okay, and if I assign this ticket to any group, like if I go for hardware, if I assign this ticket to anyone, like go for Beta Angeline, and if I save this record, then the state of the change record comes towards new to access. Okay, and it should follow the as I know, as I said that the normal change will follow the entire change management life cycle. For the incident and for the problem, if you assign the ticket regarding which assignment group and assign to, then automatically it comes from new to access. But in the change request, in the normal change, it doesn't comes towards new to access when the ticket is assigned. It should approve the process. Like we have the peer review first. Then it comes towards the manager approval. You can see like we have the request approval here. You can see like in the top, like if I click on the request approval, it approves the request and get backs from new to access. You can see like a thing which is populated in the discussion bar. Okay, system added a record card for me. It is requested by me. That's why it is showing the discussion bar here. And it is showing as it comes from new to access, and it is showing as changes awaiting for the approval. As we know that after the peer review, we have the manager approval. Without manager approval, it don't comes towards the next step. Let's see. It is showing as changes waiting for the approval. And if you come towards the bottom of the page, we have 7 approvers here, which are from the hardware group. Okay, let's David Lu approves the request on behalf of him. I'm doing this. It is showing as requested. Just click on approve. I'm approving the request on behalf of David Lu, but in the real time, it is done by the others. Okay, then automatically it comes from new to access to authorize. Right now, this is authorized to Beth Angeline that she is responsible for this change from scratch to end. Then after authorizing, we have next thing called cab approval. Without cab approval, it doesn't move towards the next steps. Let's see. After completion of the manager approval, you can go down and we have the cab approval team here. You can see like for this hardware group, which is showing as no longer required for the hardware groups, but for the cab approval, it is showing as requested. Then after fulfilling this cab approval formats, then it comes towards the next steps. I'm just approving from my end for the education purpose, but in the real time, it will be done by the cab approval team, anyone from the team. And then it goes for authorization and it goes for scheduled. And we have something called schedule here, and we have the planning first. But how you justify this part, like why you are replacing this older printer with a new one, and what is the implementation plan, and what are the risk formats, what are the backup plans? Because if you want to enable a new printer for the new laptops with the Wi-Fi, then we need to reconnect all the existing systems in the organization or in the campus. Then it comes under risk and impact analysis. Backup plan is nothing but if this printer doesn't supports more than 100 devices, then we have the backup plan, like we need to install another printer. And test plan is nothing but you can test in a single paper by printing any context. And in the schedule, on which date you want to schedule this change or implement this change. Just plan start date. Let me go with clear format. If I select the plan set is 30 of this month and plan end date is next month 10th, not September. I mentioned the plan start date as 30 of this month and plan end date is next month 10th. Okay. And we have the planning is different from actual. For example, if you plan anything, the actual things are different, like real versus real. The same thing happens in organizations also. If you plan something on a day, but it has some hurdles or obstacles while performing all those things, then the actual start date is different. It should be below start date and end date. Right now I am selecting as 5th of the next month, and the end date should be before the end date. The actual end date should be before the plan end date, but actual start date should be after the plan start date itself. I think it supports you, like it matters you. Go for actual end date and select before 10th or 10th and make some time difference here like 05. You can see like difference here, the plan start date and plan end date and actual start date and actual end date. If you want to involve the CAP team till now in the schedule, then you can check this box called CAP required as true here. Then the CAP delegate should approve this plan started and plan ended. But without any CAP formats, we can schedule these parts because we have a team to configure all these things. Like we have the change manager, we have the release manager, those who are monitoring all these changes. Like the plan started and plan ended, everything will be monitored by them. And we have conflicts. If any changes are conflicting on the same changes on the same date on the same time, then they will be displayed here. And we have an option to ignore, or we can have an option to submit. Okay, we have two options. Like if you want to ignore any one of the conflicts, we can ignore. If you want to go ahead, you can click on submit and it automatically go ahead without any delay. And we have the notes here, and if you want to write any work notes towards the journal entries, it can be automatically added here. Like you can see, like first a ticket is created and assigned to Beth Angeline, and the access was new, and group approval for hardware is requested, and David Dan requested to approve the task, and in that approved the permission granted by the role, and group approval by the hardware approved by the David Lu. And you can see all the things are recorded here with the time and with the date. And then after scheduling all those things, we need to implement regarding all those scheduling parts, like what is actual started and what's your actual end date. If I click on implement, it goes for implementation process. And after implementation, we have something called notes here, and where we write some work notes here. And we have some watch list. If you want to add any other users to watch here as a spectators, then we can add the watch list members here or work note list here. And then after the implementation, if you click on this review, it goes towards the review, like what are the things which are done after the review, like after the implementation of the change, like how it is working fine or not, nothing but the review which we give regarding the implementation. Then after the review part, it comes towards the close state, and we need to write the close code and close notes here. You can see, like if you come back, if you go for review and save this part first, and we'll come to that in the development part, how these are working in the backend. Right now, if you go for closer information, the close code and notes are not mandatory fields. If I click on close button here, automatically they convert into the mandatory fields. Okay, without filling them, we can't save the form. And then successful with issues, printer change successful, something. Okay, save. and then automatically the review state comes towards close. If you want to cancel any change request which is already duplicated, then we have directly option called cancel for the new tickets. I'll show you once. Click on filter navigator, go for create new. If you want to cancel directly, you can cancel from here. Go for cancel, click on save. For which reason you are canceling this request, mention as duplicate, click on OK. Sometimes it happens for the cancellation process also. Then directly it comes towards from new to directly cancel. They may ask that question like how you can cancel the change request from new to cancelled. Then we have an option direct call state the cancelled option, and we need to mention that what is the reason of the change closing the change request. I need to mention the reason, and then it automatically transfers from the new state to the cancel state. You can see like in the filter navigator, create new, open, closed, all. That's it. And as we know that it follows each and every part like new, access, authorize, schedule, implement, review, close and cancel. Let me write these things in normal change for your thing. First one is new, access, authorize, schedule, implement, review, close or close, cancel. Can you remember what are the things involved in the problem ticket? Anyone from the among this group? Don't you remember all the things?
New access, root cause analysis.
Then yeah, let me write further. For the problem record, please remember because they'll ask like what the stage is different between the problem and the change. The first thing comes under this new access, root cause analysis. Then we have fix in progress, and we have resolved, and we have closed. These are regarding the problem ticket. Okay, these are regarding the change, regarding the normal change. Okay, normal change, sorry, normal change states. Okay, then we'll come to the emergency change here. Let's see how the emergency will be there. It needs the ECAP approval. It doesn't follow any the life cycle of the change management. Let's see. I'm creating a new format here. Filter navigator, click on create new, and in the pins model I go for emergency directly. Like this example will works towards the hospitality format. For example, if anybody comes regarding with any wounds or any severity of an accident, then the doctor will have the reports and then he'll start treatment, or he immediately starts any treatment for the emergency patients.
Immediately start the trip.
He'll start some first aid regarding the immediate process, how we can save the lives. Okay, then this emergency formats also doesn't follows this as a step here. It directly goes for authorization. Okay, it doesn't wait for any approval or anything. It directly goes for authorization because it's an emergency format. You can select the model as emergency. Just mention as some server issue, and assignment group, let me make it as some network or mention as database. Angeline, and you can see like if I save this record, right now it is in new state. If I click on request approval, in the previous formats like in the normal change, it goes for the request approval for the team and it comes from new to assess. You can see right now like if I click on request approval, it doesn't wait for the peer review or the group review. It directly comes towards new to authorize. And we have eCap, and where we comes under the cap approval team, just approve the request on behalf of them. And the remaining part will be the same for this emergency change. It goes for schedule and it will fill all the schedule formats and implement, review, close and cancel. The one step which is skipped here is assess. It comes from new to directly authorize, and authorize goes for scheduled and goes for implement, review, close and cancel. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Then will come some things like how many days it will take, like the standard change. Any idea about the standard change, how many days it will take? In the real time, the standard change will have the time limit of 5 to 10 days, or it will complete in 5 to 10 days, the time period I'm taking about. And what about normal change?
Approx max to max 20 days it will take, I think.
I think I haven't heard anything from your end. I think it's a network issue. And we'll have some 2 to 3 months regarding the normal change process. It will take some 2 to 3 months to do all the complete normal changes process. Like it has some step by step format as I shown you in a shortcut way, like in a fast track way. But in the real time, it takes some 2 to 3 months to complete normal change entire life cycle. Then what about emergency change? It takes
Any fixed changes days, we can say.
1 hour to 1 day. Okay. Majorly, the emergency changes will comes under 1 hour category, but some emergency changes will take up to 1 day because we need to change the entire part. It takes some time. Okay. Any doubts till now regarding this ITL framework formats like incident, problem, change?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Ajay.
Sir, it is response times or resolution time?
It's resolution times, not the response times.
Okay.
These are nothing but the resolution, the time taken to resolve the standard changes. Okay. Any other doubts?